Welcome to Make a Path Presents. So we're going to take a look at the best and worst steelbooks in my collection. Now this sprung from a number of interests after showing off some of the movies I have while reviewing it's an in-depth, if you're new here, it's an in-depth movie breakdown of the best and worst of each movie. It's called Flaw vs. All Reviews. Now, sometimes I have steelbooks, and because we give the movie a grade and we put it on the shelf, you physically see the movies on my shelf. Anyhow, a number of people were interested in my steelbook collection. I'm not really sure if that's the best way to go about it, showing everything. It would probably be a super long video. This might be a longish video, but we're going to try to burn through these. I'm going to show you the worst kind of quickly, and then I have 3 levels of steelbook in front of you. Now these are about half of the steelbooks I have, and they're going to be the ones that I really like, I really like, and then the final 10 or 11 that are my all-time favorite steelbooks in my collection. Let's kick it off to the ones I'm kind of annoyed with. Warner Brothers makes some of the most ridiculous choices. Now, I love The Lost Boys, nostalgic. This is actually a really cool cover. I dig it. It reminds me of like the poster when the movie first came out. But then the back of the steelbook, Warner Brothers does its usual BS with the worst kind of laziest back, and Warner Brothers always does this. The steelbook is meant to show the art. Now it's cool you have the title there, that's fine, it makes it nostalgic, but then they do this with, Warner Brothers does this a lot. I don't know why, but they need to knock it off. Anyhow, here's an example of Friday the 13th, a really awesome back of Jason, and they went really cheap with the front. I just got this because it was a huge sale. I'm actually going to be giving this away in a coming Flaw vs. All review. Here's Beetlejuice. Again, a really cool cover. I do like this. And then the back is, what are you doing? Who designed this? Why is half his face on the top? Now, these are the ones that frustrate me a bit, and we're going to transition into the ones that made me stop buying all the movies I loved in steelbook. For example, I recently bought Halloween Kills, the regular release with the slipcover, because it was an awesome cover, and the steelbook, I was not digging it at all. Anyhow, so this is Beetlejuice, really cool cover, but then the back end, I don't know. The Batman vs. Superman, however, I didn't like the movie. I thought the steelbook at the time, I was grabbing my movies all in steelbook form. Live, Die, or Repeat, which is originally Edge of Tomorrow. Here's a neat one, and this is Warner Brothers with the logos again at the bottom. We have the same thing here with the Watchmen. I like the cover, and then we have a back that's kind of redeemable, but we got the credits again. Sherlock Holmes, again, this is actually, this is one of their better ones. Maybe I should have put this in the okay pile eventually. Sucker Punch, again with the lazy back. Maybe decent artwork, but they do the credits again. These are all Warner Brothers, by the way. Now, my question is, here's an example of crisp art. Now, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of like this chrome type of printing. This is clean. This is like crisp artwork. Who made this? This is Columbia Pictures, crisp. The movie I didn't really love, but look at this artwork here. Clean, and the print quality on it. Nice thick steelbook. It's got 3 discs. Artwork on the discs, artwork in the inside of the steelbook. I mean, this is a solid release, and that's probably why I ended up keeping it. I'll get a case, and that's why I got gloves. I don't want to distract you with a bunch of smudges, because the cases I use, I made a video about those, but they do smudge easy, but they make your collection look premium on the shelf. Anyhow, here's Warner Brothers again with the usual BS. Nice front. Here's an okay front, low effort, and then we have the back with Will Smith and his dog. Here's 7, where it's like, okay, I'm kind of digging it because it's wild like the movie, weird coded like the movie, and then the back is like, what? And hear what I mean by that chrome type of printing. where it's a bit faded-ish. Anyhow, here's Departed. Again, I thought maybe the back art would be kind of cool, and no, it's just cheap, generic. Maybe they couldn't get the rights. Maybe they need permission from the actors. I don't know how that works. Here's Leo and Shutter Island. I liked it because it was reminiscent of the poster, and then you get one of the most boring images on the back of them just walking. And one of the absolute worst, I think it's a crime. Again, Warner Brothers does it with the Zodiac director's cut. I wasn't necessarily digging it, but I love this movie, and it was kind of like an 80s, or not an 80s, but a 90s vibed poster art on the cover. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it, and maybe we got a cool image of the Zodiac on the back when he makes his attack with the bag all over his head, and he's got the weird necklace and the gun or knife or whatever. What do we get on the back? Some old asshole in a pink robe, and Jake Gyllenhaal looking up in wonder and amazement of, first off, why there's an elderly in a pink bathrobe on the back of the Steelbook that should have artwork, awesome artwork that pops. And then we have the credits again, because Warner Brothers is shit. And then here's Warner Brothers with Inside, just an absolute, I think this one is the one that broke me. Anyhow, here's the worst Steelbook in my collection. I was in denial for quite a bit. The Wolf of Wall Street. And at first I was like, cool, it's got a clean picture, I'll pick it up. I was in a bit of a rush. The back is a big FU. Who did this? Paramount Pictures? You gotta be kidding me. You should be ashamed of yourself. Totally yellow. Oh my Lord. And then the worst is, the more I got into doing photo editing, this is unredeemable. All they did is they didn't even add a border. I can go in and add a border in a free, like paint, what is it, paint.net or something, like free software. You can add a border, add a gradient, do something and make it look kind of premium. I can do that in 5 or 7 minutes at the absolute most. All they did is they take a picture that they have, and then they overlaid it on yellow border. They map it out to the print size of the Steelbook, and then they just add the lazy font here. This is the worst. And again, because it has a clean picture, but it's because of how lazy, absolute laziness that's involved in this one. Worst by far. Did I show those off? Yes, I did. All right, I might go through some of these a little quicker. Let me hide my little thumb there. I had to turn the camera back on. But got a really cool cover. And again, got a bit of a glare. Here's the cases I have. Again, I reviewed them on my second channel, I think, Ronnie Hayes. But I get what they were going for with the back art, but I'm not all that thrilled about it. Here's a nice looking one. You got the artwork here. I think this is Warner Brothers as well. And they finally, one of the rare times they don't do the credits, and I dig that. Pennywise on the back cover. That is cool. Here's another Warner Brothers with Planet of the Apes. I love the cover. Cover art pops, and then we have the back, and it's, oh wow, the credits, is that? No, that's not. That's 20th Century Fox, so no credits, but we got back art. Definitely kind of cool. We're moving into the ones that that's the number 3rd slot. There's about 20 of them here. Back to the Future, nice and crisp. I think that is a good release set. Here's something I want to give a shout out to. They're called something, I don't know, Luke Deluxe or something, I don't know, but they are crisp, and they got a little magnet closure with cool artwork. These releases are fantastic. I got this and Gremlins as a gift from somebody in the Map family, and I thought that was fantastic. I loved them ever since. Here we have Batman and Batman Returns. Originally, I wasn't thrilled that they went with the simple bat symbol on the front, and I was going to eventually get all the Batman movies in Steelbook, but I just couldn't force myself to buy Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, even though it's nostalgic from when I watched them growing up. I hated them with fiery passion growing up, so what's the point? Anyhow, the back is where I really dig it. I like this look of Batman from '89, and then I love, this is one of my all-time favorite Batman promo images of Returns with Batman, Catwoman, and the Penguin with Danny DeVito there. Michelle Pfeiffer, all-time greatest Catwoman. Friggin' love it. So that's a great one. Next up we have The Dark Knight. Got a decent cover on it. I do love the back. Again, it's Warner Brothers, right? Yep, Warner Brothers with the damn credits on the Steelbook. They don't ever stop. Braveheart, nice, clean artwork. You have his sword, kind of like the end of the movie. I really dig that. Next up, we have Edward Scissorhands, has a cool cover. This one I think I did get on sale, but I do like the back, how it kind of captures the essence of the castle on the hill. That's definitely cool. Here's one of those thin ones again with the crisp art. Just wanted to showcase. These are my second favorites down from Steelbooks. If these were more common, I would probably get these over Steelbooks just because they look really crisp. Now here's where we're getting into some of the more mostly like front and back. A lot of them, I like the fronts and the backs they throw away. I like how that carries over. You have the adults here and then the kids from the flashback and part 1. So I really dig that. Coming up, we have Oblivion. It's a movie I kind of like, but I like the crisp artwork they have here. Really crisp. Mondo does good Steelbooks. Here's Pet Sematary, and this is the OG Pet Sematary. Now, I'm not altogether thrilled with the artwork they went with. You know, it opens up as a cool piece, but you kind of lose some of it here. I kind of feel like they could have done a little bit more, but I do love the inside of this. You got a little card here. This is a fantastic release. And my favorite, you don't even need to get the Steelbook protectors because it comes with a slip cover. I love that. Next up, we have Predator. Real cool front, and I got to give an FU to 20th Century Fox because this is, they're laughing at us now. They're absolutely, what kind of back art is that? Next up, the Predator 3 movie collection. It's a generic, you know, piece of art on the front. It looks photoshopped, but it's actually pretty cool. I hate the lettering here. This could have been just a J card, but get the words out of there. Show us art on the Steelbook. At first, I didn't like this, but the back art grew on me with the weaponry. But again, I wish they gave us some type of image of the Predator. We do have a Texas Chainsaw next. I really like this vintage kind of art look to it. At least for me, it has like this vintage look, and I dig this a lot. Now, it is a bit small. See how much of the Steelbook is bare, but I get what they're going for. It's a long saw, and then you have the house, the landscape. I like that. The barren feeling in the art, what it represents. Really dig that. Spaceballs. It's funny, and you got crisp, clean artwork. I dig that. And then the back has them in their flying RV. Check it out. Next up is going to be a bit of, it's a bit of a hit or miss set. I do love the crisp artwork. It's one of my favorite Steelbooks. And I love how they have a character showcase on the front. Got Darth Maul. Again, beautiful, crisp, clean art. And then we have the poster of the movie on the back. Now that I love. Not only that setup where it's the poster and the character, but they did it through the whole series. And this is what I really love about it. And you have Yoda on front. Look at that green, the color pops. You have the beautiful artwork of the poster art. And then it continues with Grievous. Now, I know people are a big fan of General Grievous. I'm not a big fan. I wish they would have traded him out for pretty much anybody. But look at that artwork on the back. Now, this isn't in the set, but this is also fantastic artwork on the Steelbook with the stormtroopers. And man, look at that. But we continue with this original set. It was a set when I bought it, but I think they sold them separately. Darth Vader. Look at that. The vintage artwork on the back, and it continues with a stormtrooper. They are enemy heavy on the cover, but then we have another poster, and then for Return of the Jedi with the Emperor, and we have the poster on the back. Really dig how that set came out. Halloween's got a cool cover. This was a re-release, and the back's got just, it's got a pumpkin, but it's got a spot UV coating on it that I thought was pretty cool. Here, now we're getting into ones I really like. Now, this is the second tier, like second place set of Steelbooks. the Joker, but again, since it's Warner Brothers, but it's got crisp artwork. They did this BS with the credits on the back. You couldn't let us live and get rid of the credits. That would have been even better, but still, I love that artwork on that Steelbook. Train to Busan, an epic scene done in artwork, and then the finale there, really beautiful. At first I didn't like the art they went with on the back, but the connection to the movie, it ended up growing on me. But this is why it's in the number 2 spot and not one of my favorites. Here's the back of this one. Again, I dig what they did here, but I think they're losing some retail here with art they could have included, but I love this cover. One of my all-time favorite movies, Bone Tomahawk. We graded it in 82. Here's Train to Busan was a grade as well. Joker was a graded one. No, we did grade Joker, but we graded the other Steelbook. Krampus, love this. We graded that. But I love this Krampus artwork. The back is where it falls short. This, I don't even know why. Krampus should be on the back. It should be the close-up face of Krampus. They dropped the ball on that. Scream was another one. I dig this. They lose retail space here, though, and it is kind of a faded image. Now, it's showing up nice here, but in person, it should be cleaner, brighter. It should really pop. And then the back is, it's too faded. It's too dull, and it's just a cheap phone. It should be Drew Barrymore's face screaming, and that's the end of it. Or the movie poster, even better. Here's one of my favorites, Kung Fu Hustle, and I love what they did here. Now, again, the artwork kind of spills over in a half attempt here, but I really dig what they did, and it makes sense if you watch that, and I highly recommend Kung Fu Hustle. Logan follows suit. Again, beautiful art, and the art beautifully spills over to the back, but it's just nothing. It's beautiful. It's a wraparound, but there's nothing there. Next up, we have Tremors. Look at that. The Tremors, the truck is driving away. I really dig this. Again, it's not the best image they could have put. You could have put the, 2 lead characters on the back, or 3. Then we have a Tremor, and I love how it's grabbing the title there, so they got me on that one. Trick or Treat, really cool. Sam in his outfit, and then Sam's head on the back. I like that one. You've got another Mondo case with the Reservoir Dogs. You got some artwork on the cover. I think the inside's got some artwork there, and then the back, some scenes from the movie, and you got all the characters lined up. Same for the front, and then you got, obviously, the slip case to keep it protected. That's my favorite way to have Steelbooks, but some of them don't, so I got to get these cases. RoboCop, iconic cover. Love that. The back isn't, it isn't the greatest, but I really dig the cover, and the back is just okay. Here's an awesome one, Terrifier. Now, this just barely made it, and this one's actually almost one of my top, but it just barely didn't make it because I think they're missing something here. They could have did something art-wise. They could have made this pop, but it's an iconic gory scene from the movie. Not really sure what they could have included, but they did a really good job. This Steelbook, it's got blood splatter. It's embossed. You can see the title pops out, the character pops out, and they got a really cool image of Art the Clown there. So really good Steelbook. And now we're moving on to the top 11 Steelbooks, top 11 Steelbooks, but I have 3 bonus ones at the very end. But we have Joker, the overseas version, was not available in the US. Somebody was nice enough to help me out and send it from overseas. I love this art. Again, they just kind of, the credits here. This is one of my favorites. Oh, that's right. It comes with a protective cover. Let me show you what they did here. You have the Steelbook art, and obviously he is obsessed in the movie with makeup and keeping his face clean. So the slip cover is his face mask. If you watched it, if you haven't watched it, watch this movie. But I love this crisp artwork, clean print job. And then here's the back. He's covered up. He's got his little blood suit on, his axe, and it's kind of like, capitalism, America, yada, yada, yada. If you haven't watched the movie, you got to check it out. Here's his business card. Love this, man. Awesome, awesome Steelbook release. I've seen some people say that this is just okay, and I'm like, for me, it's hit, and I love this. Next up, we have friggin' Jaws. Iconic movie poster, and I love how they did it with the woman swimming on the back and the front. Bam, Jaws. I've seen a different version of this where Jaws is coming up and he's eating the words in red, but I don't think it's a steelbook. I think it's a digibook, but I really love this one. Next up, Night of the Living Dead. This is the 1990 remake, and this was only available overseas. I was able to order it on Amazon, and the order went through. Shipping took a while, but I love the artwork here. The image quality is a little faded, so that's a disappointment, but look at that art. Oh man, I love that. Night of the Living Dead, you got awesome art. Definitely one of my favorite steelbooks. Absolutely. Next up, we have more awesome art. And I think this is from Arrow Video or Scream Factory. I think it might be Arrow Video. Yeah, Arrow Video. An American Werewolf in London. Look at that art. It pops. You got the werewolf. You got Jack. You got the back art here. His buddy. Just the look of it. It's a wraparound too, so it's pretty friggin' cool. Next up, Pumpkinhead. You got the essence of the movie on the back, and it wraps around to the cover of the demon. Man, look at that. Pumpkinhead. I love that artwork. Nice and clean. We're getting up to the top few of my favorites. Saw. Not only do I love the movie, but I love what they did. They give you a steelbook that's got the TV on the slip cover. Genius, because it connects to the movie. It's a slip cover to protect your steelbook. The back has your info, but then when you take it off, you have the ending represented, not exactly, but well done, with Jigsaw back here. And then you have the doctor reaching out in agony. And then you have the puppet on the front. And I love this thing. And then you got inside artwork, disc art. This thing is crazy. It's got spot UV printing there to give it that shine. Man, really love this. Again, the TV on the slip cover. That's putting thought and energy and effort into the release, and it's fantastic. Here is Predator, one of my all-time favorite movies. It's got a cool little piece of art here. I really wish they went for something with the Predator unmasked, to be honest. But this is kind of neat, a little scene from the movie. But this cover is what does it for me. Really love this. It's got a vintage vibe mixed with some art, and I love how that came out. Next up, we have, I've seen a lot of people give this one slack. It's a double release. I am not a fan of double releases, and I'm not a fan of how they did it where you got to flip it around, but I love how it comes with a cover that's really thick quality. It has a lenticular cover, so it'll show you both of the covers without messing about, but inside is crisp art for Total Recall on one side, and when you flip it, I hate flipping it, and I'll tell you why. When you flip it, you have my favorite Terminator 2. I wish right off the rip it was T1 and T2. That would have been friggin' amazing, and I friggin' wish they kept them both the same side, because my plan was, I made a little frame. My plan was to frame it and have the artwork from the steelbook kind of, showcased above the Blu-ray shelf. But this is ridiculous. So, I don't know. I've seen these still available at Target. If they go on clearance, I'm going to buy one just to kind of, rip it apart and make my own cool little thing. Anyway, my two top favorite steelbooks in my collection. We've probably seen better art, but there's something about this. Again, it comes with a slip cover that's immediately a step up, and it has the all the information, the words that you need on it. But then the artwork is beautiful. I love that sepia tone they use. Did I get that right? And you have Laurie Strode, young Laurie Strode, and then Michael Myers, the original Halloween from 1978. And man, I love this. It's kind of like an off-white. It's more like a, it's off-white, but it's like really off-white, like vintage. And then you got that sepia with the leaves. You get the Halloween feeling. Man, love this. Inside art has leaves on it, and then the discs have artwork on it. This is my second top favorite. And my favorite, maybe because, oh man, maybe we reviewed this too. That got a 45. Maybe because this is my favorite movie as well. The Thing. This was a steelbook I was lucky to get. I hate when they do super limited releases, but this guy sold out fast. The night before they released them, they put it up for sale again, and it was up for like an hour. I was able to snag a copy for local pickup. I ordered it, ran down the next day, picked it up. The Thing with the iconic image of the alien forming together that they found. I love that. The two faces, the melting faces, and then the back, the original cover. And the steelbook is really thick, good quality. The artwork is crisp printed, but it's not like crisp like the high def image on some of the others. But it's a matte, kind of muted, but still nice and crisp art. A high quality steelbook, one of the best in the collection. And I friggin' love this thing. Love it. Now, a little bonus to show off. We have two gaming ones. We have Doom. I do like this steelbook a lot. You got the Doom monster there, or one of, in the remake, and it doubles over. Just a little something. But this is the overseas version of Last of Us 2. Yes, the game is not a good sequel. It's an amazing game itself. The story's got a lot of problems, but for a sequel, it's trash. For a solo game, a different IP, it's amazing. The gameplay is incredible. Ellie, nice, beautiful Ellie artwork on the front, and then Joel on the back. It came out incredibly well done and looks great. Really love this steelbook. Just a reminder, Doomsday Kingdom issue 5 and 6 is available for pre-order right now for the very first time. Physical copies, doomsdaykingdom.com. And also you can get these posters still. There's about 35 left. The posters plus volume 1, that holds issues 1 to 5. So you can get caught up before you get issue 6. Anyhow, last and probably fitting, I wanted to show off my favorite Walking Dead steelbook. I have, I think, 2 through 6. They are the thick steelbooks. Later they went with another distributor. They were Anchors Bay for the whole time until they went with Lionsgate. And for season 8, I don't know if this sold well because they stopped doing steelbooks after this, I believe. No, they did season 9. They did a really lazy season 9 steelbook that I passed on, and then they stopped doing steelbooks. But this was one of the best. Really crisp, clean artwork. Previously, they were doing that kind of faded chrome type printing art. Anyhow, you got Rick and Negan, and then Eyes of a Zombie. You got some zombies here, some artwork, some saviors or heroes going to war. And you have a little bit of a montage of Rick, Carl, and their journey on the back. And it's awesome. It's one of my favorite steelbooks. It's my all-time favorite Walking Dead steelbook, and I think they did a really good job. And you can see the art is definitely nice and crisp. Walking Dead Season 8. And it's thick and heavy because it's got multiple discs. Again, the old steelbooks used to be those thick ones, and that sucks because this one fits in one of those regular cases. It comes in a regular steelbook, and they're not all squished in there. So this was a good release right here. Definitely a good release. But you give me your thoughts and opinions down below. What's your favorite steelbooks in your collection? Do you collect steelbooks? Is it something that you're into? I originally was going to go for an only steelbook movie collection. However, I noticed some movies just are never getting a steelbook, and also companies are just making shit steelbooks just to throw them out there. Like, some of them I don't understand. I showed you the ones I talked about that look like shit. But stuff like this and Saw, I think Saw might be lower on the list than it should be. But Saw is one of my favorites. And again, it's the thought and effort that was put into releasing it. The slip covers, the artwork on there, nice and crisp. American Psycho is another one, but I love these Steelbooks. But thoughts and opinions, put them down below. That's pretty much it. And if you guys are interested for other stuff similar to this, like the full movie collection, I might do that a little slower, and it'll just be like a long as shit video. But you leave your thoughts and opinions below. We have some videos following this that's a bit different, that has nothing to do with movies and or TV shows. And we also have some movie reviews or TV show review of something on Netflix I've been asked a lot to do, so we might check that out. So definitely keep an eye on this channel if you're not getting notifications. All right, I'm done talking. It's your turn.